ni le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal.
This is how it feels to play Spy, but not really. Spy is a very complicated character. He's not one-sided like some of the other classes. Every single weapon offers a different playstyle, but however, every single weapon requires similar techniques, and they are all very complex. For example, the Kuna, you have to be very careful when starting out due to your low health pool, but when you get that juicy health boost, you can be basically as aggressive as you want. And the same goes for the Big Owner. Once you get that initial hit, you can go all out because of the speed boost to aid you in your escape or in getting more backstabs. And so, this can make Spyville very fun, also very challenging at times. But sometimes, as other YouTubers call it, you can get into Spy Syndrome, where you just run in and die, because every single experienced player can tell exactly which spy is disguised and which spy is on their team. And this is mainly due to all spy mains choosing to cosplay as either Scout, for themselves, Spy, or Pyro. This is why changing up your disguises can be super beneficial. Disguising as Soldier or Heavy or Demo can almost guarantee a kill for the first few times you disguise as him. But not many players use this because you get reduced speed when you disguise as these slower classes. And so sometimes Spy can just feel frustrating. He can feel like nothing goes your way, he can make you feel like you're a bad Spy player, even though you're not. Even looking back at this footage, I realized that I'm not that bad, because in the moment I was thinking, gosh, why am I such a terrible Spy main? But in actuality, I'm not that bad. At least I don't think so. But now let's focus on what actually makes Spy feel good, and what makes him feel bad. Well, first you gotta look at dopamine. Dopamine is released by the pituitary gland in your brain. And this makes you feel happy-go-funny, and what makes you go hoo-hoo and ha-ha. And the pituitary gland can be stimulated by things such as happy noises and bright lights. And so when you hear that juicy critical backstab, followed by your, enemies falling down rather helplessly, you get a big rush. So that's how it feels to play Spy when you get a backstab. But that rush soon goes away right when you realize you're basically screwed. But this is the point at which most spies just fold over completely. Because Spy is pretty much the worst class in the game. No doubt whatsoever. He doesn't have any means of self-defense, and although he has a gun, let's be real, it's basically garbage in comparison to all the other guns that all the other mercs have access to. So yeah, he pretty much just gets destroyed in every firefight unless he learns to trick stab. It takes most spy mains thousands of hours to master trick stabbing, and it leads to many just giving up on the class altogether because of how infuriating it can be. And I was almost one of them, but I persevered, and thankfully I'm meh at trick stabbing. Nowhere near good enough to put it into any use, but I'm not terrible at it, and occasionally I'll get a good little trick stab, and I'll get a little proud of myself.
So, how do you actually trick stab? Trick stabbing is a relatively hard art to master. I'd say one of the hardest skills in the game. So, getting to learn it is really difficult and is going to take a lot of practice. There are many different trick stabs, but the simplest just being your average matador. So the way that matador stabs work is that you trick your opponent into thinking you're going one direction, when actually at the last minute you're going to go the other direction, successfully having their back turned somewhat towards you so that you can get a stab. Now, in theory this seems hard, and in practice, it's even harder. I am only usually able to get a matador stab every once in a while, with trick stabbing experts getting them maybe a few times a game, because frankly they're just not that practical. Most TF2 players nowadays have been playing for quite a long time, and there aren't that many new players trickling in, so most players are going to know how to overcome your trick stabbing efforts. And well, the Matador is probably the most obvious trick stab you can ever choose. Some other popular ones is the understab. So the understab is where you sit under somebody and then they'll try and fall on top of you to try and get you, but instead you stab them. And it is pretty hard to master, but I like it. But overall, my most favorite stab of all is the overstab, or the jump stab, or the falling stab, whichever one you want to call it. So basically, you hop and you fall down on them. I just find it so fun, just sort of free falling onto their backs, because they never see it coming, unless they're super good, and they've got the pre-aforementioned 1,500 plus hours, which is almost every player. But still, when you get it, it is so sweet and delectable that you just want to keep playing Spy. Now, there are many other trick stabs, but these are the easiest and simplest ones. So, if you are a trick stabbing Spy who's trying to learn how to do it a little better, I would suggest only doing these and focusing on them. But for the tips though, you can do a lot to improve your Spy gameplay. The first thing to do is equip the kunai and the diamondback, in my opinion, but you can also swap it out with the l'étranger. And this is so that you can get used to playing as kunai Spy, because he is the best for trick stabbing, due to him only needing one singular trick stab to start an entire chain. And while it can be super hard and the enemy team may really throttle into you, you can still get immense changes in your Spy gameplay by just equipping the kunai. And the diamondback is just there for crits, because with all of those backstabs, you're going to need something to help you when you just can't trick stab your way out of that one situation. Going to finish off this video. I'd like to thank anybody who made it to the end. I'm sorry that my microphone quality at the start was so awful, so if you were able to suffer through that, then thank you so much. And if you would like to see more of this, please like and subscribe, because I have zero motivation to do any more. That won't take more than like 6 months, because frankly my upload schedule is terrible. So, thank you if you did make it to the video, and I'm going to stop saying thank you because I don't care enough about you people. And so this is McDazzle, signing off.